The night was heavy with silence when the phone rang. Diep had just returned from a long day at the market, her hands still carrying the faint scent of melons and pineapples she had harvested under the sun. Her body ached with fatigue, but her heart was restless. That morning, her husband, James, a man she both admired and feared losing, had left on an urgent business trip. He had risen before dawn, slipping away with only a short letter urging her not to worry. But as the clock struck midnight, the shrill sound of the phone cut through the cricket's song outside her farmhouse. Her pulse quickened. It was James. His voice came through faint, laced with exhaustion but also carrying a warmth that wrapped around her like a blanket on a winter night. He reassured her, telling her everything was under control. "Don't worry about me," he whispered softly. "Take care of yourself. Wait for me." Diep forced a smile, her voice trembling as she responded. Yet when the line went silent, loneliness crept back with sharp edges. What would become of her if James never returned? Could she carry the weight of life alone? That question haunted her, until fate answered in an unexpected form. The child by the dusty road. Earlier that day, on her way home from the market, Diep had noticed a little girl no older than 4 sitting alone on the side of a dusty road. Her eyes were swollen from crying. Kneeling down, Diep asked her name. The child's fragile voice broke. "I am waiting for my mother." Hours passed, but no mother came. After reporting the situation to the local officers, Diep was asked to take the girl in temporarily until her family could be located. The child's name was Nay. From the moment she held Diep's hand, she refused to let go. That evening, the farmhouse transformed. Nay's tiny fingers tried to help pick vegetables. Her giggles echoed in the kitchen, filling a silence that had weighed heavily on Diep for weeks. At dinner, the little girl pressed her palms together and whispered a small prayer before eating. It was a simple act of innocence, yet it reminded Diep of something she had almost forgotten: hope. But later, when the house grew quiet, Nay asked in a soft, fragile voice, "Where is my mother? And why are you alone too?" The question pierced Diep's chest. She stroked the girl's hair and whispered, "Because sometimes the people we love have to go far away." But it doesn't mean they don't love us. That night, Diep realized her life had shifted. James was far away, fighting unseen battles in the corporate world. But here, in her arms, was another fragile life looking up at her with hope. She could no longer depend on James to fill every void. The fear of being left behind began to turn into something new: courage. Love Redefined. Even without James beside her, too deep decided she would not let loneliness defeat her. She would protect Nay, nurture her, and create a home. As moonlight spilled across the quiet yard, she sat by Nay's bedside, listening to the child's gentle breathing. For the first time, she understood that love was not only about waiting for someone's return. It was also about giving without fear. The following morning, before dawn, the rooster crowed. Too Deep awoke to the sound of little footsteps across the wooden floor. Nay was already sitting by the window, staring outside as if waiting for her mother to return. Too Deep's heart ached, but she smiled and took the child's hand. "Come," she whispered. "Let's go to the fields together." Through rows of glistening crops, Too Deep showed Nay how to pick vegetables, how to tell which melons were ripe, how to carry a basket without bruising the fruit. Nay's laughter rang out like silver bells, chasing away the shadows of the previous night. And yet, every time Too Deep thought of James, silence hollowed her chest. His voice reached her across the distance, but his absence lingered like an empty chair at their table. Storms in the distance. At the market, villagers noticed the child by her side. Some smiled, asking who she was. Too Deep replied gently, "She is with me for now." And strangely, each time she said it, she felt a warmth deep within, as though she had already become Nay's mother. But the storm in James's world grew louder. His calls became shorter, his voice more weary. "Funds are being withdrawn," he told her one evening, "and powerful rivals are moving against me. I don't know when I can come back. Promise me you'll stay strong." Fear clutched Too Deep's chest. What if James never returned? What if she was left alone? She looked at Nay, who was playing with a small wooden toy, her bright eyes full of trust. Something inside Too Deep shifted. "I will wait for you," she said firmly. "But even if you are far away, I will not stop living." "There is someone here who needs me now. You must fight your battle, and I will fight mine." Silence filled the line. Then James whispered, "That's why I love you." For the first time, Too Deep's tears were not from fear, but from strength. Danger in the market. Weeks turned into months. Too Deep and Nay built a quiet life together, farming, selling at the market, sharing small joys. Villagers began whispering that Too Deep looked like a young mother raising her daughter. But one afternoon, at the crowded market, Too Deep noticed a sharply dressed stranger watching her. His eyes lingered not on the melons, but on her and the child. He said nothing, bought nothing, and walked away. But his stare sent a chill down her spine. That night, she couldn't shake the memory of his face. She didn't know he was connected to James's rival, the very man determined to dismantle his company. Through the child, an unexpected truth was about to emerge, one that could bind Too Diep even deeper into James's dangerous world. A test of strength. Soon, the stranger began appearing more often, blending into the crowd at first, but then making his presence undeniable. One evening, after she sold the last of her pineapples, he blocked her path. "You care for that child as if she were your own," he said smoothly. "Do you even know who she really is?" Too Diep tightened her hold on Nay. "She's just a lost child." "That's all that matters." The man's lips curled. "Lost, yes, but not forgotten. She belongs to someone who has been watching you closely." James would be very interested to know. Fear burned in her chest, but she walked past him without a word, holding Nay tighter. That night, she barred the windows and doors, her mind racing. Later, James called again. His voice was weaker than ever. "There are enemies moving closer. They know about you." "They might try to use you to hurt me." Too Diep's breath caught. She looked at Nay sleeping peacefully. Then she answered with steady resolve, "Whatever happens, don't let fear break you." "I will protect her. I will protect myself. But you must survive. Come back to us." For a long moment, silence reigned. Then James whispered, "You are braver than I ever imagined." "Promise me you'll hold on." "I promise." Love is courage. That night, something inside Too Diep transformed. She was no longer simply a wife waiting for love. She was a guardian, a mother, and the anchor James needed in the storm. She had opened her heart not only to her husband but also to a child who desperately needed her. And in doing so, she discovered that love was not just romance or longing. Love was courage. The little girl sleeping in her arms held secrets yet to be revealed, secrets that could either save James or destroy them both. But whatever fate held, Too Diep was ready. Because love, she now knew, was not passive. Love was an act of defiance against despair, a choice to protect and nurture even when uncertainty loomed like a storm.